Tap on it. Oh nah. You good? I'm gonna run the thing, and then we got like a minute on the intro. That's it. That's it.
Trap squad, 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 trap squad. Hey, clickbaity political. Yeah, thirst trap, trap squad, squirrel squad. Our mission is critical to speak the truth to the masses. We here for the fight. We ain't started, but we here to finish it. Sick and tired of seeing the privilege. Take advantage of the weak and the innocent. So we let a voice be heard. Every single weeknight, unapologetic. Black people, despite this white supremacist system that we live through on a daily, we still throwing up those acorns cause we represent clickbaity. Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad. Let me hear ya. Trap squad, trap squad. Throw those squirrels up if you with it. Trap squad, trap squad. Yeah, I see you, yeah, I see you. Trap squad, trap squad. Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad. Trap squad, let me hear ya. Trap squad, trap squad. Throw those squirrels up if you with it. Trap squad, trap squad. Yeah, I see you, yeah, I see you. Trap squad, trap squad. Trap squad, trap squad. Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad.
Guess who's Bazak? Welcome one and all to the first episode of the second season of Clickbaity, Political Thirst Trap. I am one half of your host, and I'm riding solo tonight, Marcus Farrell. But I would be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to my partner in crime who will be joining us in the near future, Mondale Robinson. You're now rocking with the best. You're now rocking with the Squirrel Gang, the Trap Squad. You're now rocking with Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap. And what in the Kwame Brown have y'all been up to recently, my family? It's been about a month and a half, 2 months. It's been a while since we've seen you guys. And we've gotten all the messages when y'all gonna come back online, when y'all gonna come and do another show. We figured we would just, let the world just become completely out of hand before we came back and started talking about a couple things. And I'm gonna talk about a couple things tonight, but I'm not going to stay on too long because I want to have a whole episode with my brother Mondale Robinson when he comes back. But how y'all been? How y'all been doing, Trap Squad? Before we jump into it, man, how has everything been going with you guys, man? Yo, I see everybody in the trap room. I see everybody in the comment section. Luke Kang, Anna Hart, Ursula Baptiste, Rain. I see everybody, man. What's happening? What's going on, man? I'm happy to be back. I was a little personal news. I was a bit under the weather. I caught a case of diverticulitis. And for those who don't know diverticulitis, you can't spread it. It's an inflammation of the lower intestine where polyps, little pockets develop. And if they get inflamed, it's the most painful thing that you could possibly go through as a human being. And I caught a real bad case of it. And it had me in the hospital for 3 weeks, folks. So watch what you eat, but more so make sure you take care of your health, because I got a funny story about this. Man, Lord knows we need Medicare for all. Because in those 3 weeks that I was in the hospital, I racked up a hospital bill of $50,400. Now, I did go and take advantage of Obamacare. I don't know, this year, and somehow, like right after my Obamacare kicked in, I got sick. So maybe that's serendipity or whatever, right? But $50,000 and I lucked up and managed to get on Obamacare, which, by the way, monthly premiums are still expensive. Like, there's nothing cheaper about Obamacare for me personally. It's just healthcare. It's like the same amount of money that they would take out if I had a job that paid me, gave me insurance. That's the same amount of money that I put out of my pocket into my healthcare. Luckily, I took advantage of it. But let me tell you something. You can't afford getting sick in America. There were moments where I was thinking to myself, if I wasn't insured right now, I would ask y'all not to give me that medication. I would ask y'all to let me go home. I don't want to spend another night in this hospital. And it was interesting because I was by one brother who got shot in the head. This young brother lived. He got shot. He was my roommate at one point. He got shot in the head and lived. And we were talking, and I was like, man, you feel blessed to be alive? He was like, yeah, until I get the medical bill. I'm trying to get out of here immediately. And this brother literally had a piece of his chin shot off. So I was with somebody who didn't have insurance, and I'm certain that his ER visit, and he was there for a couple of days, so that was at least $20,000 out of the pocket also. So let me tell y'all, we need to be fighting for some good things, and Democrats need to start acting like Democrats, or us as voters need to start acting like Kwame Brown. I'm a Kwame Brown voter. Marcus is a Kwame Brown voter from now on. My whole attitude towards people who I voted for in the past that haven't done a damn thing for me gets Kwame Brown-ish responses from me from now on. You niggas ain't shit. You ain't gonna be shit. I can't even do you got to be in a certain mood to be Kwame, to do a Kwame Brown. Cause let me tell you something. Kwame Brown, if you looking at this right here, if you ever run across me in the streets, bro, I got nothing but respect for you. I don't give a damn what they say about your basketball career. You are on the all-time list of roasting people from now on. I never felt bad for another light-skinned brother until what he did to that dude from All the Smoke. I mean, he even gave Stephen A. Smith the business. Matt Barnes. Matt Barnes, you need a whole new religion right now, Matt Barnes. Hey, listen. Kwame Brown ethered everybody. And from now on, he's not going to be just known as a person who was a bust, but a potential all-star roaster from this moment on. And he looked like he can cook some mean barbecue. Shout out to Kwame Brown. And some of y'all need to keep folk name out of your mouth unless you really want that smoke, because you never know what somebody been. I mean, and that's been boiling over. What you think, Dwayne? That's been boiling over for what, about 20 years now? Kwame been feeling some kind of way?
Oh, he been sitting on that. He been sitting on that for a minute, yo. You could just tell by the just blatant disregard he came out with. How you call another man Becky with the good hair? You know he been sitting on that for a while.
Yeah, he's been sitting on that anger for a minute. So if you don't know, former NBA first round draft pick Kwame Brown. That's what I'm gonna talk about first. I'm gonna talk about ratchet stuff because politics is so tiring, but we are gonna get into a little bit of it. But former NBA draft pick from the Washington Wizards, Kwame Brown. Michael Jordan picked him. And he had a pretty tumultuous career in the NBA. That's all I'm gonna say, because he might watch this and be like, and get on me. So all I'm gonna say is Kwame Brown, he played basketball. but he wasn't hyped up to be like his career wasn't like what the normal number one overall superstar would do. And that was by different meanings, right? You know, he definitely had a bunch of untapped potential, but people have spent the last 20 years basically telling him he's the biggest basketball bust of all time. And Matt Barnes and who else was it? It was Matt Barnes. It was Steven Jackson. Steven Jackson.
Gilbert
they are
Arenas
all
got
on
some smoke.
Gilbert Arenas. They were all on this podcast and basically trying to clown this brother again. And you know, I don't know what happened, but this time he just wasn't having it. Maybe it was because it was some of his former teammates, right? But whatever it was, he wasn't having it, and he just let off a etherish amount of tweets and comments about these people that will forever live in the annals of, damn, son. And I guess you gotta be there to enjoy it. So go look at that right there. Let's talk about a couple of things politically right quick, like, because you know they've been a little bit on my mind. The first thing is the Republican Party, man. They're absolute psychopaths. And that's all there is to it. Their attitude and their mentality towards the terrorist breach of the U.S. Capitol on January 6th, the murderous breach of the Capitol on January 6th. Their approach to it is, let's sweep it under the rug. Let's act like it didn't happen. And that's their approach to pretty much everything. That's why they keep bringing up critical race theory and how they don't want it in schools. They don't want anything. They don't want anything that shows that white men did something wrong. That's literally it, right? They're like the ultimate. They're like the defense of Jeffrey Epstein. You know, like they're like just completely wrapped up in creating a false narrative about what really happened. And if you watched Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap, then you had the honor of watching us as we reported live all the crazy white men that were just rushing the Capitol. We were stunned by it. We had all kinds of comments, and one of our highest viewed episodes was us actually doing the play-by-play. Look, there's a white man on the 50. He's about to use the U.S. flag. Oh, that's a Trump flag, and he wants to stab at a cop. Those things happen. Cops die. Police officers die. And we can also talk about the hypocriticalness of how Blue Lives Matter until they are the ones who are doing the killing. But we can more so talk about how they want to just erase what happened because they do not ever want to take blame. They don't want to take responsibility as a party. And they want to otherize it so much that the number one argument against a commission to study January 6th was it didn't include BLM and Antifa. Because BLM and Antifa obviously forced all the white Trump supporters to go and rush the Capitol. Y'all got to be crazy as a motherfucker, man. But we're not having that, Trap Squad. We're not having that. We're going to call him out the way it is right now, right? And we've also need to go ahead and call out Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin, man, you listen. Hey, Joe Biden needs to put Joe Manchin in a corner and not let Joe Manchin have anything that he wants at all. Because Joe Manchin is acting like he's the most powerful dude in the nation, and he's not. The president's supposed to be that person. They can't get HR 1 passed. They're going to have a tough time overturning the filibuster for anything because we want to negotiate with a party that never wants to do anything but hurt normal Americans who are not rich. The Democratic Party is addicted to the idea that we can actually compromise with a group of people who are absolute psychopaths. Now, from what I understand, from what I remember, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So one of these insane theories has to break at some time soon, and I'm just trying to figure out which insane theory that is. Is the insane theory of Democrats continuing to try to work with Republicans to get bipartisan legislation and that's really going to happen, and America's going to come together, and that's going to be the kumbaya moment of America. Is that the insanity that's going to break? No, if we keep going down that front, we're going to stay insane. Okay, then maybe it's insane to believe that Republicans actually want to do something different and they'll see the light sometime soon. Well, that's just insane also. How about normal people voting for the Democratic Party over and over again and expecting a different result? See, because something has to give. And they can no longer keep asking us for votes if they get into office and play with Republicans like we sent them there to play with Republicans. No, people in Georgia who voted did not send Democrats to work with Republicans. That's not what we did. Because you're not going to pass any laws if you're trying to work with Republicans. Not right now, not in this day and age. Maybe in the 90s, maybe in the early 2000s, maybe in the 1980s. I don't know. If you agree with putting crack in the neighborhoods with Reagan, then, maybe you can get some laws passed, right? But right now, you cannot work with Republicans. So therefore, those attempting to are wasting taxpayer dollars and wasting my vote. It's that simple. That simple. The ceasefire is not enough in Israel. We need to talk about how we can actually fix that situation from now on, and we got to stop killing kids. That simple. Because I'm going over an overview of like the things that we missed, and what's the brother's name and who got slaughtered in North Carolina? Brown.
Yeah.
What was his name? Anthony Brown. Yep. Make sure I get a fact check on that. It's Andrew Brown Jr. Thank you, Jonathan. Andrew Brown Jr. I got to say his name, everybody. Andrew Brown Jr. These elections are important. And these DAs that we elect are just as important as mayors. And that's why I keep reminding you guys that a good part of justice comes from some of the most obscure places and obscure positions that people hold. And that system didn't allow the public to see the actual shooting at all, really. And then said, oh, by the way, the cops are innocent. And there's no kind of public accountability. They just hid everything behind the veil. Doesn't that make you guys think there's some kind of setup? There's something a little bit wrong in the balance of the force when it comes down to that case? Because, when you look at body camera footage, there's not many times where I've seen body camera footage where if it was questionable, the body camera footage always shows the questionable actions of the cop. If it wasn't questionable and people were like that shooting was justified, you see that also. So there's something wrong right now with the justice system across the board. And the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act would pass unless we, figured out a way that we could actually end the filibuster. And what I think a lot of Democrats don't understand is that they have to really seize power and control and make sure that they do some things, right? And it's almost opposite world, because I don't think that anybody really gets a lot of people, not everybody, because I do know there's a lot of people who are getting elected to office that are trying to do something, but a lot of people get elected to like, let's do as less as possible. Let's be moderate. And this is the absolute wrong time in American history for any politician that claims themselves as a Democrat or as a liberal or as a progressive to be moderate. You ought to be you out of your goddamn mind if you're trying to work with the Republican Party right now, and there's something called the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. A Republican's not going to work with you on that. A Republican is not going to work with you on making sure that businesses are no longer have the same amount of political influence as human beings. That's right, Courtney. Mother freak, the judge, the prosecutor, and the DA. Yeah. So I guess the moral of the story is same old, same old. We're still at it again with the same people doing absolutely nothing. We have a couple of fighters in there who are willing to call out things for the truth. And shout out to all the people who want to tell the truth about freedom everywhere and not just oppression here in America. I am your one half of your two hosts of Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap, Marcus Farrell. Please hit that like button, that share button, that subscribe button. We're coming for all of it. We'll have swag. That's all that stuff comes soon. We have people who are going to be on and rocking with us for season 2. You know, I just had to come on and give y'all something early and then also show y'all that I'm alive. Cause I'm gonna tell you something. I was sick for real. I was worried there for a second. But now I'm back stronger than ever. And we're going to continue this clickbaity thing as long as we possibly can. Bring some good folks on. And of course, you're going to see Darren again. Of course, you're going to see some of the same players that have been around us for a little while. And we're going to have a couple of extra guests. So what you guys been up to real quick, man? What have you guys been up to since we've been gone? Besides in my inbox asking me when we going to get back, when we coming back. What have you guys been up to? Tell me what you've been up to during your break. What'd you say, Tyreek? I thought they canceled this show. Nah, you can't cancel free, bro. You can't cancel Free Brothers. You know, you can make it hard for us to talk though. The bill sound working on getting this money. Been working to get this money. Ain't nothing wrong with that in the bill. Courtney, you've been going through withdrawals. Man, listen, you need to make sure that you don't do that with nicotine or alcohol. You got to start working out. You know what I mean? Y'all gonna trip. I lost 35. I lost 35 pounds since y'all seen me last between getting sick and eating differently, man. 35 pounds. So all of my clothes are baggy and I look like a skinny mini right now. You know what I mean? But I feel good. I feel great. I feel like I'm back at it. You know what I mean? And with that being said, we're gonna come back here Tuesday. I just wanted to check in with you guys real quick. There's real news. We're gonna have a whole kind of our normal clips and clicks and all that. But I wanted to make sure that y'all knew that we were still back and we're still official and we're still doing it. We're still doing it big time. So with that being said, thank you for watching another episode of Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap. Dwayne, am I forgetting anything?
I don't think so. See the people on Tuesday.
Yeah, we're going to see you guys on Tuesday. With that, Tuesday afternoon, peace.
Dang, looks like I'm a little rusty too.
The button.
Button don't damn want to work. There we go.
Trap squad, 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 trap squad. Hey, clickbait. petty political. Yeah, thirst trap, trap squad, squirrel squad. Our mission is critical to speak the truth to the masses. Yeah. We here for the fight. We ain't started, but we here to finish it. Sick and tired of seeing the privilege, take advantage of the weak and the innocent. So we let a voice be heard every single weeknight. Unapologetic. Black people, despite this white supremacist system that we live through on a daily, we still throwing up those acorns cause we represent clickbaity.
Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad.
Let me hear ya.
Trap squad, trap squad.
Throw those squirrels up if you with it.
Trap squad, trap squad.
Yeah, I see you, yeah, I see you.
Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad.
Clickbaity, trap.
Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad.
Let me hear ya.
Trap squad, trap squad.
Throw those squirrels up if you with